Do you want to know how to make a big underground farm like this? Well, stick around to find out how. First thing you need to know about farming underground is why it's actually a challenge in the first place. Well, the issue is that if crops have no exposure to the sky in 7 Days to Die, they won't grow. You can't replace daylight with light blocks, by the way, although I think a UV light system would be a pretty cool, albeit unnecessary addition to the game. So if you can't farm under blocks, how can you farm underground? Well, for that we need to know about two mechanics. One is called block light opacity, and the other mechanic I'm going to refer to as light spill. Light spill is how light travels to your crops. If you have one hole in your ceiling, the light will spill over a 15 by 15 cross, with the edges filled in diagonally. It's the same shape as a Minecraft torch, if that helps some of you visualize it better. Now, if the farm plot falls in that area, you can plant a crop on it and then it'll grow. If the farm plot is not under that light spill, it won't let you plant the crop and it will not grow. So that's the really short part of how to make an underground farm. You make a 15 by 15 cross of farm plots, fill in the edges, and have one block leading up to daylight, and there you go, underground farm. Now you can stack these modules on top of each other with 3 blocks of space between them. Just remove the middle block of the above module so that light can travel down to the next one. But what if you want a ladder or some kind of hard roof to protect your farm? Well, the second mechanic you'll need to know about here is light opacity. Light opacity is the statistic on every block at the bottom of its description. And up until right now, you may have never even thought about what that statistic meant. But what it actually does is for each point of light opacity, the light spill from that space is reduced by 1 in each of the cardinal directions. So if a block has a light opacity of 0, light will go through fine and it won't reduce the light reaching your crops. If a block has a light opacity of 1, it will reduce the light spill in each direction by 1, which will also pull in the diagonals of the farm, which will massively reduce the area that the farm can be. So you'll need to find more light holes or find a way to still have 0 light opacity. Now the blocks in the shape menu don't update to tell you the actual light opacity of the shape you've selected, but you can actually check it in the creative menu. If that's too much work though, bars, railings and ladders have a light opacity of 0 and will not block light, and most other blocks have 255 light opacity, meaning that absolutely no light gets through whatsoever. If you find remembering that to be quite annoying, here's the even easier version, which is if you just craft these separate ladder blocks, the wooden ladder, the iron ladder, and the steel ladder, they will all have a light opacity of 0 and they will show it in their description. If you want to cap off your farm, you can use a hatch, but the hatch will give you a light opacity of 1. And reduce the area of the farm, and that's regardless of whether the hatch is open or closed. Alternatively, if you want a safe entrance to your farm, you can use a box with an open ceiling to let light through, and then put a ladder 2 blocks above the ground so zombies can't climb it, or you can just put a door in the box. Now zombies have no reason to actually try and attack your crops, so it's not too big of a deal, but you never know when a screamer or a wandering horde might try to get in while you're farming, so it's a good idea to not just have an open block at the top without a door or a ladder in the way to stop zombies. Now you can totally disregard this design entirely if you want. You can just have a ladder and entrance elsewhere, but you will still need a light source. So you should still block the entrance with some kind of chimney type solution. Alternatively, you can fill the ceiling entirely with bulletproof glass and put it in any shape you like. And you could do the same with bars or railings, which would let you shoot up at any zombies in the area as well, and you would have absolutely no light issues with that. But if you want the cheapest, safest and easiest design, do something like this with a cap, a ladder and several layers of farm plots. If you're stacking your farm plots, make sure they all have a block underneath them because they will not hold themselves up and they will collapse. So you'll need to put a support floor or ceiling, depending on which way you're looking at it, in order for the next level's farm plots to actually stand. By the way, water also reduces light by 2, so if you want to do an underground farm, you'll need to have a large glass ceiling to make sure that light actually reaches your crops. For all your underground farms, make sure you have 3 full blocks of space between your farm tiers if you want to grow the tallest crops, which are 3 blocks tall, which are corn and yucca and things like that. Now, Would you ever need a farm this big for single player? Not really, and it would probably take way too much time to plant and harvest it every couple of days anyway. But it is good to know how to do it if you need to, as it can be a very valuable asset in multiplayer, especially if you need a lot of glue for explosives in the late game. You can plant a lot of super corn in a farm like this, and you can use that super corn on rare consumables like learning elixirs and awesome sauce. You could even just sell some of your crops for lots and lots of dukes and smelt that into brass. So large scale farming does have some more obscure uses, especially on multiplayer, and the farm is quite space efficient, allowing you to basically hide it all under a 3x3 box. If you've done a lot of mining in a certain area, you can actually just fill it in with this design. But there's nothing stopping you just doing a big underground greenhouse as part of a bunker or some other kind of base with an underground area. So yes, you can farm underground in 7 days to die, and now you know how. If you want another tutorial video, why not check out my ultimate medical guide? Did you know that my members and patrons got access to this video 24 hours early? If that's something that interests you, links to that are in the description. Thank you to my channel members and patrons for making this video possible, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.